everyone, Marty here with Steve and Karla. We are playing BioShock 2 Minerva's Den. Steve and Karla, why are you two here?
Good question. Hey, I'm Steve Gaynor. I was the writer and lead designer of Minerva's Den, and I was also the writer and designer of Gone Home, and I'm currently working on Tacoma.
Amazing. I'm Karla Samanja, and I did a bunch of stuff on this that I don't know whether I can enumerate easily, but I helped Steve with story stuff and did a bunch of posters and subtitles also. And yeah, basically the same on Gone Home and Tacoma.
That's very exciting. So yeah, we've been doing a whole month of Tacoma coverage, and we figured that while we had the two of you, we would play through 3 sections of Minerva's Den, including the beginning, section sort of in the middle, and then the ending. So there are going to be spoilers here.
Yeah.
Granted, this game is 6 years old now. Is that right?
Gosh, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, 2010. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow. And but this is good timing too, because obviously we're right on the cusp of BioShock Remastered coming out, which is going to have 1, 2, this, and Infinite.
Yeah.
That's a lot of video games.
Yeah. No, it's exciting that that Minerva's Den is going to be officially available on Xbox One and PS4. And yeah, this was Karla and I worked together on BioShock 2 on the main game. I was a level designer on that. And I did some small amount of writing for like some audio diaries and splicer dialogue and stuff. And Karla and I worked together on that stuff, and that was why we wanted to work together from the ground up on Minerva's Den. So yeah, I went from being a level designer on the main game to being the lead designer of this DLC. And Karla was basically my story editor, and we worked on the story beat, the dialogue, all that stuff together over the course of development of this content.
So this is the first thing that we made together, really.
Yeah, it was the first thing that we were, really kind of like the, core, I guess, creative team behind. We got really great input from other people on the team, including Jordan Thomas, the creative director of the main game, and Zach McClendon, who was lead designer of the main game, and they really kind of helped oversee what we were trying to do with this. Because it's one of those things where, I was a big fan of the original BioShock, and it was a real honor to work on the second game. And at the point where you are kind of given the responsibility to say, like, okay, well, now you get to make a new part of Rapture. You get to, put something into this whole fictional world. I think it's really valuable to have other people to kind of give you some guidance and insight on, like, does this fit? Is this something that feels like BioShock,
Yeah.
For context, how big was the Minerva's Den team, and how long did you guys work on this?
It was like 9-ish actual developers. Mm-hmm. There were some additional producers and stuff, but they kind of split their focus, I think.
Yeah.
And
I think it was
real short.
It was 9. Yeah, it was 9 full-time, like, content creators and programmers, and then the full development cycle of this was 9 months, but the first 3 months was just me, Devin St. Clair, who is the lead artist on the DLC, and Karla giving input on kind of the foundational story elements and the characters and everything. And then the last 6 months of development, we had 2 more level designers, more gameplay programmers, all that kind of stuff coming in to really produce the thing itself. And we started development on it slightly before BioShock 2 actually came out. So I think that the DLC came out 6 months after the main game, but we had worked on it for 9 months at that point. Anyway, so yeah, it was a pretty small production, pretty quick production, and yeah, there was 1 more person full-time on this DLC than there is on Tacoma.
That's surreal.
So, small team stuff works for us.
God damn it, these are okay.
They are, I like them. There's our homage to Zach McClendon, who actually he was like, I think it was his idea to have an area where they made all the robotic stuff in Rapture as part of Minerva's Den, so we wanted to name it after him.
I'm like, let's personify the thinker.
Yeah. So yeah, Karla made these posters, and Karla made all of the like 2D art and most of the posters and stuff, and the letters and other paper materials and stuff in Gone Home. So that was part of when we started working on Gone Home. Part of what we were thinking of was like, okay, who do we have? What can we do? We've got a level designer and a writer. someone who is great at 2D art and a programmer that knows how to make first-person games. So I guess we need to make a first-person game where you find a bunch of 2D art and there's a lot of writing in it. And there's going home. But yeah, this is the Thinker statue that greets you when you first enter Minerva's Den and is relevant to the AI that runs this part of Rapture. That was a big part of what we were doing was, we're heavily indebted to the legacy that led to BioShock and Irrational's work, and we wanted to kind of do our riff on System Shock 2 by making this a story about how Rapture's advanced technology led to the creation of basically the world's first thinking AI, which is the driving force that you encounter in Minerva's Den. And we are now on Tacoma, wrapped all the way back around to making an AI story on a space station and kind of taking our Gone Home approach to game making and applying it to something that speaks more directly than anything we've ever done before to kind of where this whole milieu of games came from.
Are we making a weird trilogy, Steve?
We did it.
So perfect. So this is, are we going to jump ahead a little bit to the next section?
Yeah, we're going to move forward to seeing Charles Milton Porter's office and get a little look of the environmental storytelling kind of stuff we did there.
I heard he's a traitor.
Yeah.
Where'd you hear that?
Okay, cool. We're going to hop there right now.
All right, so that can be a little registration mark just for reference.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Video editor, we're cutting this out.
all right. So yeah, oh wait, I have to actually do this fight and stuff. I didn't make a save game, but I just need to waste these guys and then I can walk straight to the office. Actually, no, I'm gonna have to. No, I guess I should have made a save game right at the office door. Sorry.
It wasn't that far ahead.
No, it won't be that long. It's just I have to go get the hack tool. I don't know. I know how to play video games. It's fine. Jump up to the area.
You didn't get this slug, you didn't get that slug, it's over right.
There's probably going to be a bunch of people watching the thing who feel the exact same way.
No, it's
Like, you son of a bitch!
Yeah.
I thought about it and then I was like, I don't know.
Fuck it. There's no reason for it. But
Open the door, Porter.
it's just fine. I
Porter.
don't feel like it. Like, words to say.
Did
Okay,
it.
it's fine. Oh my god.
Rip.
It's.
Yeah.
I'm still entertained by.
Something that's interesting that I would like to do something that I've thought about is I think that there are levels that I've worked on that I can probably draw the floor plan of and like where everything is as accurately or more accurately than houses I've lived in growing up.
No, it makes
And a
total
project
sense.
that I would like to do is a project where I go to designers and say, okay, draw a floor plan of your childhood house you grew up in and draw a floor plan of the level that you were responsible for that you feel like you
See
can,
which one's more accurate.
well, and just like compare, you know, like, it'd be
See what
like,
they're
I
like,
think
yeah.
that, I can't remember, was the refrigerator in this corner in the kitchen?
Yeah.
But then be like, nope, there's a health pickup here, and this was where the ammo upgrade was, like.
That's so true.
I think of them so much in similar ways where, like,
Yeah.
I've spent so much time legitimately like in these spaces. It's like I can remember, that them like places I've been in. And it can be like, oh yeah, you go around this corner and then that's where the thing is. Anyway, fuck it. What am I doing? No, I was just doing a bad guy.
You think you can hack your way to the Thinker?
True.
Like ammo crates were here.
Right.
were there.
Yeah. Probably ammo is less, I guess, interesting or whatever. But like, the plasmids you have to get here and be
the
like, I know
important things.
exactly.
Yeah, the story items.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know precisely
Major
where
hazards to worry
the
about.
Yeah.
yeah. Zapper Bros. Oh no.
Rapture depends on the thinker every
Throw a
day.
can to you.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like, it's even weird like games I played
Rocky.
so much as a kid. Like we went back on Christmas and we played Banjo-Kazooie, which is like one of my favorite games. And through muscle memory,
Yeah,
I got
you're like,
we got
we're all
100% in one
kids.
sitting.
Well,
like I didn't need to look a single
man.
thing up, and I'm like,
Amazing.
I forget people's birthdays.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Well, and that's how I
Could be bothered to remember phone numbers.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Oh my god.
that's how I get with old like LucasArts adventure games.
Oh, yeah.
Yep,
I can go
totally.
back and like just recently I replayed Day of the Tentacle, and I think I had to like look up one thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was like, nope, I remember
Yeah,
exactly.
I replayed
yeah.
Grim Fandango
Yep,
when they
same.
remastered it, and I did it with tank controls and everything.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "This is a piece of cake.
Yep.
Everything's
I think
cool."
if I
And
had
it was,
to,
yeah.
I think Super Mario 64 might be the game that I know best
Yeah.
in terms of like, and I don't know that I can go back and get
Yeah.
every single thing about it and look up.
I'm gonna turn this
everything.
guy
Yeah.
off so he's not buzzing
Getting
around
Getting
while
annoying.
I.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I turned it back on. I'm gonna do it back in the hallway so he's not lying on the floor weirdly.
Okay.
And then yeah, I'll start it from here.
Oh yeah, just tell me when.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, here's the pause screen. We're gonna pick it back up.
Okay.
Very short.
All right, go ahead.
All right, now we're back. We're a little bit later. Where are we going? What are we about to see?
Good question,
Thanks, man.
Marty.
I know, I'm a journalist.
So Porter is the inventor of the Thinker, the AI that runs Minerva's Den, and we are approaching his personal office that we need to go to progress through the story and try to retrieve the Thinker's programming and bring it back up to the surface.
All right. Beginning scan.
And so part of what we wanted to do was say, you know, how can the computer's capabilities fit into the progress of the game? So here, the Thinker is scanning you, confirming your identity before you can have access to Porter's office. We wanted to say nobody could get into Porter's office since he was here last, but you
Sorry I
can.
can't be there to meet you in
And so as
person.
you enter, it
You've
kind of
seen the
comes
state
back to
of den
life.
these days. It's the Thinker that's important now, though.
What a
I
different
need you
novel.
to get to the computer.
So there is
Such high
a,
ceilings.
you know, apart from obviously the sort of themes of AI and everything, there is a link between Porter and the AI Odin in
That's
Tacoma,
true.
right?
Yeah. The voice
Strong
that you're
one.
the voice you're hearing right now is Carl Lumbly. He's a fantastic voice actor and also screen actor. He was in Buckaroo Banzai in the 80s.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yep.
And he did a lot of TV work. You know, he was in an episode of the X-Files, and he there was that show Mantis in the 90s that was
yeah.
about a black superhero, and he was
That is
the
awesome.
main actor in that.
Yeah, he's also a Martian Manhunter in Justice League.
Right.
Animated series, which he's
yeah.
very good.
And so we love his voice, and it was a real honor to get to work with him on Minerva's Den. He had such gravitas to his presence, and so we wanted in Tacoma, since the station is run by an AI, we wanted it to have a voice that made the crew feel, I guess, like, to have that feeling of like, okay, this entity that's in charge of everything has this kind of respectable presence
Yeah,
to it. Like,
yeah.
I believe that everything's under control.
Well, it's so much personality that he's got
Yeah.
that he's adding to the character just with his voice.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to go back to working with someone we were familiar with that also had that sort of connection to this lineage of games that we've worked on together and that, you know, we're drawing a lot from. And so, yeah, Odin, the station AI in Tacoma, is also voiced by Carl Lumbly, doing a very different, I feel like, kind of tenor to his performance, but with that same presence that his voice has.
So one of the things I noticed about this room, and obviously with Gone Home and upcoming with Tacoma, is this sort of sense of voyeurism that you guys play with in games, and sort of stumbling upon a place after things have happened, and
Right.
you piecing together what happened before your time.
Right, and when you enter a character's personal space, there's something that's really powerful about that. And so, you know, in this place, you can tell this has been abandoned. This is where Porter did his work. But, you know, a big part of the System Shock and BioShock series and a lot of stuff in that whole Looking Glass lineage is the idea of environmental storytelling. And so in this case, we're like, all right, let's put some stuff that tells you about who Porter was and what was important to him. And so, you know, it blurs out the background when you say, whoops. And so, you know, what can be useful in a lot of cases is to have these kinds of little shrines almost, where you put a few different nodes of this story idea in one place and allow the player to connect the dots between how they all relate. And so we've got this audio diary that'll play out here.
For Turing, I didn't see Pearl much. Spent all day and night in a government compound, building a computer to crack the Enigma machine. Pearl got pretty fed up with me. I didn't pay her heed. And then one night, I'm out in that complex, and the blitz starts falling. Next morning I came home to find nothing but ashes where I last saw her. Nothing but ashes.
So, there's two things that are really powerful about telling a story this way. One is it lets the player do a lot of the work in their head, right? So you're like, oh, okay, Love, Pearl, that's probably his wife. There they are together. Oh, they're in London. And then the audio diary kind of can refer to these things without having to explain all of them. So in the voice, diary that you just heard, he could talk about that first year in London and coming home to there being nothing but ashes. And the telegram here gives you more information. It's like, oh, I see. Alan Turing called him to London because he was an advanced mathematician to help with the code breaking that happened in World War II. Okay, World War II, the Blitz of London, being able to kind of have all of those things be in parallel for the player to discover, but not have to have the dialogue just say, here's what happened, when it happened, how it happened, but let you say like, oh, okay, that relates to that and that relates to that. And there's the full picture of, what brought this person to this place.
Yeah, I mean, there's just an inherent sense of trust in the player that they'll be able to put together these pieces. It's not like it's a, 20,000 piece puzzle, but it's like you can see 4 different things and understand their relationship together.
Yeah.
People are smart.
And when we take that and kind of make that the heart of a game, that's really, what our guiding principle was for Gone Home, and even more so, I think, in Tacoma, with bringing more elements together and letting the player reconstruct the picture of what it all means.
Very cool. All right, so we're going to hop ahead one more time to pretty much the end of the game. Well, no, I guess we have 2 more hops.
Yeah,
okay,
we're going to go near the end of the game and then the actual end. So the stuff fast here is for real, spoiler stuff.
Yeah, so we warned you. See, we didn't lie. We are back. Where are we going right now?
So
Spoilerville.
This is near the end of the DLC. Basically, the whole progression through Minerva's Den is getting closer and closer to the heart of the actual hardware of the Thinker itself. And so now we're going through these kind of maintenance tunnels to come into the Thinker hardware in a way that people wouldn't normally have access to.
Oh, you went down the deadfall.
Yep, not going back.
So most you speedran through this relatively quickly. How long did the game take most people, or will the game take most people?
I mean, our goal was for this thing. What we wanted to do with Minerva's Den was say, this is the full arc of the game's mechanics in 3 levels. The full playthrough of Minerva's Den, if you're really thorough and do all the Big Daddy fights and find everything, is probably 5 or 6 hours. We were proud that we were able to make something as a DLC that was basically the same length as some retail FPS campaigns are. But yeah, the idea was to say, instead of a game that takes 15, 20, however many hours to get through, like a core BioShock game does, if we could just take the progression of these games and compress it into a few hours of gameplay and say you start out at the bottom of the power curve and you're able to build up your abilities to exactly how you want to play over the course of 3 big levels, that it would be really satisfying to basically have that full game experience in something that you can do in a couple of nights.
Totally.
Thanks for focusing so hard on my cool population ecology equations.
My pleasure. And so yeah, now we have reached the Thinker itself. And so, the experience being about kind of getting to the heart of an AI is certainly something that we're revisiting in Tacoma, but from a very different angle of saying, it's about exploring this place, that isn't ruined, but that has just recently been evacuated, that you don't fight through, combat challenges to get there, but you are really, over the course of the game, your progression is building an understanding of what happened and what the reason that you're doing all this stuff is, and making that the focus, and making the mechanics you engage in and what you do really enable that. And so as we get to the end, we were like, all right, we'll put in some backstory that's about these are the commands that that the Thinker received along the course of, as you were playing through this. Rodan, the Rapture Operational Data Interpreter Network, which is why it's called the Thinker, which is why there's a Thinker statue there. We did it.
We did it.
And so now we are at the point where we will begin printing out all of the Thinker's machine code, which will trigger a boss fight that I think we're gonna crossfade past because this is not really the
So this is sort of the final. We're gonna skip past the final combat scenario of Minerva's Den and just hop to the ending.
Yeah.
Oh, we got problems.
All right. I'll see you when you're ragdolled on the floor. Well,
bye, Reed. Oh, there he is. You weren't lying.
Oh, poor little guy.
Maybe he's just sleeping.
Look at him.
Look at him with his cool hat and everything.
I know.
That's not really a hat.
No, well, at least he gets to keep it.
Go to sleep. Sleep. So yeah, having dealt with Wall and his minions, the last barrier to releasing the Thinker from Minerva's Den and Rapture has been cleared, and so now we will proceed to a classic BioShock reveal room.
Are there gonna be hot twists?
You about to get twisted, bro.
Mainframe reactivated. Confirming user's genetic identity. Genetic identity confirmed. Alpha series. Subject Sigma. Former identity. Charles Milton Porter.
Twist.
You.
Twist. Something from the beginning. Oh wait.
Welcome back. Assistant. Ending personality duplication. Subject Charles Milton Porter.
So from the beginning, something that well, not from the beginning, but the real I guess impetus for what we ended up doing with Minerva's Den was early on in the DLC's development. My pitch was just very much a straight like System Shock 2 retelling, basically, where you would think that Porter was guiding you, but it was really the Thinker using his voice, like Shodan did in System Shock 2, to manipulate you into getting it out of Rapture, and then you find out that Porter was dead all along when you get to the end of the game. And Jordan Thomas and Zach McClendon, when I was kind of pitching them on that, they were like, I think that's not really that's not getting you quite where you want to go. Like that's not really gonna like make people be like, oh shit, it's gonna be like And so in that meeting, I was like, well, okay, we have an extra character here because we have the player character, Subject Sigma, and Big Daddies always used to be someone before they got turned into Big Daddies. And we've got Porter, who is in this conception of the story dead the whole time. So what if you're playing as the Big Daddy that Porter got turned into, and that's what you discover at the end? And I just remember Zach saying, "Oh yeah, let's just do that."
Yep.
Perfect. And I was like, "All right,
we did it, guys."
And so the story became, it was branched conceptually off of the whole System Shock 2 Shodan thing of like, you think it's one person, but it's really the AI, impersonating them, but it pushed us to do something different with that and say, actually, it's the AI trying to save itself, but also you, its creator, from this place that it's been consigned to. And discovering that is the big twist of the story.
It's a sad room.
Oh no, why is the room sad?
So this is, the ending of Minerva's Den, a big part of it is, this is post-combat, right? Like, we finished we've finished the last big boss fight.
You literally don't have your guns out anymore.
And so something that we wanted to do, we have the whole, like, would you kindly thing in BioShock, right? Like, it makes you put your guns away sometimes. But in this case, in Minerva's Den, you've gotten past this point where when you finally enter Porter's personal quarters, where he lived and his personal research office and everything, is also the point at which the character now knows who they are and what this place is. And so when you go down that elevator, we hide the player's guns. You're not shooting things anymore. You're not going to be shooting machine gun bullets into this very personal space. And this is the space in Minerva's Den that is the most just like gone home of what we've done, right? So I'll play this audio diary and look at some environmental storytelling stuff, and we can pick it back up when the diary is done playing.
I believe I'm done feeding audio recordings and personal anecdotes to the thinker. I am set to test the personality duplication function. Target personality, Pearl Porter. Thinker, are you ready?
Yes, Milton.
Starting test. Hello, Pearl.
Hello, Milton.
How have you been?
Just wonderful, Milton. I've missed you, though. It's been so long.
Pearl, No, this isn't right. It isn't her. Thinker, stop the test.
But what's the matter, Milton?
Oh, God.
Don't you still love me?
Oh, God, I said end function, Thinker. Now! It's over.
And so at this point is where, after the front story conflict has been resolved, after, the conflict between Reed and Porter and the Thinker has finished in, a boss fight, and now you're able to mechanically get the Thinker out of Rapture. The resolution of the personal story wraps up here, where we just, there's been this parallel thread throughout the course of this thing that's been about the power struggle between the people that ran Minerva's Den, but also Porter's attempt to use the Thinker's ability to replicate individuals' personalities to basically bring back his dead wife and feed all this information about her and recordings of her into the Thinker's memory bank so that he could basically bring her back to life, or as close as is possible. And when he gets what he thought he wanted, he realizes that it's never going to be her, no matter how close it is. And it's sort of that final, I guess, ironic realization that getting what he thought he wanted led to all of this stuff. And in the end, it wasn't the real solution to his problem. The real solution is he needs to learn to move past it instead of trying to recapture it.
But at least he had enough left in him to be horrified by the result.
Exactly.
So he stayed sane, against all the odds, really.
Yeah.
And
And so, it's that, hopefully it's those kinds of, emotional resonance moments that allow you to say, what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing and everything that's led up to this point paints a full picture of who this person is. And then, I think with everything that we've done, including Minerva's Den, we wanted to end with a hopeful feeling to it, right? Like, I think that something that was really great about the story adjustment that we had very early was it allowed us to say, this is actually a story about Porter getting him and his creation out of Rapture, being redeemed, moving past something that he thought he couldn't get away from, as opposed to everybody's dead, the end, haha. And being able to do that with a game story and say this is a story about someone getting past something that's hard and getting a second chance. I don't know. It's satisfying to us anyway, and it's something that we hope that we're able to do with the stuff that we're putting in front of people.
That's super cool. Steve, Karla, thank you so much. Of course, Minerva's Den is available in the BioShock collection. Check that out. Gone Home is available everywhere, and Tacoma will be available in spring of 2017.
That's right.
Did I do it?
Yeah, you did it. We did it.
I'm very proud of us.
Thank you so much, Marty, for having us on.
Of course. Thank you guys so much. For so much more on BioShock, Gone Home, and Tacoma, you're already in the right place. IGN.